Boosed contains adult themes and language. Listener beware. Hello, and welcome to Boosed, where we get supernatural and shit-faced. I'm your host, Camille, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm here as well. It's Sydney. Happy to be here as always.
Hello, dear Sydney. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good today, Camille. I survived Dalaska, as it was called.
Alaska, yeah, the snowpocalypse that took place in the Texas area.
Yeah, nearly unscathed. Didn't have water for 9 days, but it's back.
Jeez.
And I am grateful that my things are not destroyed from a bursted pipe. So small wins.
Yes. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very fortunate.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're back into your space, and I'm glad to have you all again, dear listeners, joining us for another episode. If you have time this week, please take a little bit of that to go to Apple Podcasts, give us a rating, give us a review. A written review is so important, and we would love to hear from you on social media. You can find us at Boosed Pod on all social media platforms. That's BOOSED Pod. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/boostpod if you want to support us. There are many levels starting at $2, and you get some special perks along the way. And we are so, so appreciative for all of our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney, since we're doing a little bit of a special recording here, we're live on Clubhouse right now.
We are.
This may be a complete disaster. This may be the greatest thing we've ever done.
I think there's a possibility it could be both.
I think so.
Yeah.
And isn't that part of life's journey?
That's what life's journey is.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
You do.
The facts of life.
We are showing our age.
That's beyond our age. So,
I mean, we know
that's Nick at Night reruns.
We know about it.
Right. You know, who doesn't love a black pigtailed skater girl named Tootie?
Yeah, Tootie and Joe.
I think that's where my obsession with the name of Josephine started, actually. I thought Joe was the coolest character.
She was very cool.
So, yeah. Well, I get to ask you this question this week.
You do.
Sydney, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, guys, you know, I made it back around. I did about a month and a half sober. Just as a cleansing period, nothing serious, you know, nothing too dramatic. And it had run its natural course. So tonight I am having a amateur Paloma, which is grapefruit juice, lime juice, sugar, and tequila. And it's decent.
It's doing its job.
I have had a better one, absolutely. But it's doing its job, yes.
Well, good. Well, welcome back into the fold.
Thank you.
I am excited to hear about what tomorrow will bring for you after a month of not drinking.
Well, I took some Tums just in case.
Go to bed, take a multivitamin, take some aspirin before you go to bed, eat a loaf of bread. The entire loaf, not just a slice.
A whole loaf.
Which is what I meant to say slice, but I said loaf, so just go with it.
Okay.
Drink an entire loaf of bread.
Drink the whole thing. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the remedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm clearly already getting started here.
Yeah. So what are you drinking? What's got you so talking about loaves of bread drink?
I am drinking a local cider brand, an Atlanta local cider brand called High Branch Hard Cider.
Mm.
It is their classic apple. I'm kind of, although I did find it in one of the stores, there are some East ciders in the store, but, there's no Bishop in the stores here. So I'm missing a bit of my Bishop cider from Dallas. And I didn't want to just keep falling back on East ciders. I decided to try the local brands. So this is one of them. And it's not so bad. I mean, it's very kind of basic apple cider. Seems to be getting the job done, though. And I am on my second can here.
Nice.
And I also have a lovely slice of cookie cake nearby.
Ooh.
So when those munchies hit in the middle of this episode, I will be supported in a soft, non-crunchy snack.
I don't have a crunchy snack.
Good.
Because I didn't get to go to the grocery store. Had I gotten to go to the grocery store, there would probably be a few crunchies, guys.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully soon. And you can resupply your fruit and crunchy snacks. You can get some dried fruit, maybe crunchy fruit. Apples are the loudest damn fruit on the planet to eat, I have found.
Mm-hmm.
So get some apples and you can crunch away on the next episode.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna remember that. I have gotten permission. You all heard.
Oh God, no, that's not what I meant. Damn it.
That's exactly what you said.
I take it back.
Here we go. Ironclad in audio.
Damn it. I apologize to all my listeners.
Yep.
I didn't mean to.
It's happening.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
So this is a very special episode. We haven't done this before.
We've not done this before.
This is my first time in a room in Clubhouse.
Look at you. Bravo. Well, I'm glad that your own show could break your Clubhouse initiation.
Yes.
I feel so awkward saying breaking the cherry now that we're all kind of like conscious and aware of language. And
it's very antiquated, and I don't think we should.
It is.
Go there.
We got to find something. Welcome to your Clubhouse initiation.
It's initiation.
Initiation?
You got it.
Okay, there it is. Awesome.
Yes.
I ate like half of a personal pizza right before I started drinking. So clearly all the bread hasn't coated my stomach yet.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, first time in a room for our very special episode. So what are we going to be getting into tonight, Camille?
Tonight, we are getting into the myths, the folklore, the legends of black dogs.
Black dogs.
Yes.
Now, before we start, I just want to verify. You're talking about just black dogs in general.
Yes.
Okay. That might have been a dumb question, but there are no dumb questions.
I felt like it was a little self-explanatory.
It was so self-explanatory that it felt like there was something hidden underneath.
Too simple.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yes. Well, we've not talked about black dogs particularly before, but we have occasionally had black dogs brought up. I know I've talked a little bit about the meaning of black dogs in the paranormal supernatural realms. So I thought this would be a great time to kind of dig into what that really means, because our last episode mentioned a black dog at some point, or a black rabbit as well.
No, it was a dog. It was a
dog. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, then, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Well, that sounds very interesting.
All right. How do you feel about dogs? Are you a dog person? I don't know if we've ever had this conversation.
You know what? What's funny is I am a dog person. I like dogs and cats. And my mom is going to get a puppy. She's going to get a Yorkie. And I am absolutely certain I will have joint custody of it. So there's going to be a little, I don't know. It's gonna.
Oh, we can have a little doggy mascot.
We will. Boosed will have a little mascot. We'll print him a little shirt.
Yay! Oh,
but yeah.
And when my roommates and their dog comes back, we can virtually introduce them to each other.
Well, that'll be cute.
Yes, it's a whole other episode right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
But
The
I
dogs make.
love dogs. Dogs are
Okay, well,
great.
that's good to hear.
How do you feel about dogs?
I love dogs as well. I've almost always owned them, quite a few growing up. Had one for about 16 years. He was a black dog, actually. He was black and white, mostly black. And am living with a dog now. So I do take care of dogs. I'm signed up on one of the dog care apps as a caregiver for dogs.
Yeah, I was going to say that last dog that you sat was a black dog as well, right?
Yeah, he was a black lab. Yeah, sweetest thing. So yeah, I'm cool with dogs. I used to want to be a veterinarian. So yeah, I've just never not enjoyed the company of a dog. Cats, hit or miss on cats. Certain cats have been bastards to me, and some are cool, but I've never owned one, so I don't know what that's really like full time. But yeah, dogs, thumbs up. I enjoy them.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, dogs, as Voltaire, the famous writer Voltaire once said, it seems that nature has given the dog to man for his defense and for his pleasure. Of all the animals, it is the most faithful. It is the best friend man can have.
And I assume that that's where that term comes from.
It is one of the purported origins of that term. The other being like, because I looked it up on Wikipedia, it was like a lawyer in some case. I don't remember. I didn't read what the case was about. I assume it was about a dog. He made his closing arguments, and in it, he made this large, sweeping speech, like Gregory Peck and To Kill a Mockingbird style of closing arguments, in which he mentioned dog being man's best friend. So that's one of the origins. There was another origin that also goes back a long time. So it's not exactly clear who was the originator, but this is one of the earliest mentions of dog being man's best friend. So you can also often hear people say that dogs are the best judge of character. They'll say, if my dog doesn't like you, then there's something wrong with you. It's been said that they can seemingly pick up on negative energy, body language very easily. We all know dogs have better senses than we do. Sight, smell, sound. It's just super heightened.
Mm-hmm.
And some even suggest that dogs are able to sense and or see those entities that are hidden to us, like spirits, ghosts, and or demons. Dogs are often chosen to be our protectors, our guards, our friends. And we have heard mention on our show, like I said a few times, of black dogs being present at some supernatural events. So as I was kind of mentioning, much like the quote about dogs being man's best friend, it's also hard to pinpoint the exact origin of the black dog folklore. Tales reach as far back as, I'm going to butcher this name, Garmer.
Is that a name?
It's Garmr. Gamer?
Garmr.
MR. Yeah. Garmer.
You know what I'll do? I'll Google it, and then I'll have the Google lady translate it.
Great. Well, for a little context, it's of Norse folklore. So something like Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, where you have like consonants in places where you wouldn't expect a consonant to be as an English speaker.
Right.
And as it is part of Norse folklore, it is associated specifically with the goddess Hel and the event Ragnarok.
Wow.
Which I know you and I both watched the Marvel movies. Yes. So yeah, it's all very factual.
Yeah.
All of it happened.
That's really great.
Marvel movies are real factual historical.
Those things
records.
happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in the movie, she does have a big black dog with her.
Yeah.
Now that I remember, at the end, you see it mostly at the end is when he's fighting the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have a big black dog in Norse folklore, and you even have the Greek mythology of Cerberus, the three-headed dog, who is considered the hound of Hades, and he guards the gates of the underworld to prevent the dead from leaving. So while doggos are good boys, we love them. You should definitely go out and, get a dog friend. And I will say black dogs are, much like black cats, are under adopted to some degree because of their hair color, which I think is crazy. If I would more likely get a black coated pet because most of my clothing is black, and I feel like that way you don't see the hair as much on your clothing. It'll just blend in, right? But they're not as adopted, or they're adopted specifically to be guard dogs because black is seen as this like menacing color, which is a whole other Carl Jung potentially Boosed racism corner episode to talk about.
It sounds like we're gonna go there.
It's very archetypal to consider black things as being evil, but whatever. It's been since the beginning of time.
Yipes.
My uncles and I were talking, and he mentioned like God lived in darkness and he created the world from darkness, from himself, and therefore God is black.
That's a good enough argument for me.
There you go. That's all you need. So anyway, moving on. Quick detour. So we are going to focus on the black dog as a motif of a spectral or demonic entity found primarily in the folklore of the British Isles. So the black dog is essentially, he's a nocturnal apparition. In some cases, he's a shapeshifter and is often said to be associated with the devil or described as a ghost or supernatural hellhound. And if you go to the Wikipedia page for black dog ghost, you will find a plethora of different tales from mostly, again, the British Isles area, detailing different stories about the presence of black dogs around events, both good and bad. But again, I don't want to talk about the goodest puppers who all deserve, their little nose boops. Boop, boop, boop.
They deserve the boobs.
They deserve 14 out of 10 on We Rate Dogs.
Yes.
We are going to talk about those truly bad dogs. Those canine beasts that seem to be the harbingers of death and destruction.
Oh boy.
Are you ready? First, we are going to talk about Shuck.
Shuck.
I think I'm pronouncing that right. Shuck.
Spell it.
S-H-U-C-K.
Yeah, Shuck.
Shuck. Like shucking oyster.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise known as Black Shook, Old Shook, or just plain Shook. Yeah. This is the name given to him. Again, he's an East Anglian ghostly black dog, which is said to roam the coastline and the countryside of East Anglia. The first mention in print of Black Shuck is by the Reverend E.S. Taylor in an 1850 edition of the journal Notes and Queries, which describe Shuck the dog fiend. This phantom I have heard many persons in East Norfolk and even Cambridgeshire describe as having seen as a black shaggy dog with fiery eyes and of immense size, and who visits churchyards at midnight. And as always, I will source all of my notes in our blog, boozepod.com/blog. It'll be in the notes section, the blog post for this episode. You can see all the links from where I get all this information. So now the descriptions of Black Shuck vary in both size and shape, from that of a very large dog being about the size of a calf or horse. W.A. Dutt, in his 1901 Highways and Byways in East Anglia, describes the creature as thus, quote, "He takes the form of a huge black dog and prowls along dark lanes and lonesome field footpaths where, although his howling makes the hearer's blood run cold, his footfalls make no sound. You may know him at once, should you see him, by his fiery eye. He has but one, and that, like the Cyclops, is in the middle of his head. But such an encounter might bring the worst of luck. It is even said that to meet him is to be warned that your death will occur before the end of the year. So you will do well to shut your eyes if you hear him howling. Shut them, even if you are uncertain whether it is the dog fiend or the voice of the wind you hear. Should you never set eyes on our Norfolk snarly owl, you may perhaps doubt his existence. And like other learned folks, tell us that his story is nothing but the old Scandinavian myth of the Black Hound of Odin, brought to us by the Vikings who long settled along the Norfolk coast. And I'll take a moment to say that Odin is also said to be of single eye. He only has one eye. So it makes sense that maybe his dog would have one eye as well.
One fire eye.
One fiery eye, yes.
Like Mordor.
Yeah, like very, just like when you look at it, it's a very kind of blazing, ominous eye. Yeah. So, one of the most notable reports of Black Shuck is his appearance at the churches of Bungay and Blythburgh in Suffolk. I'm sorry, there's a lot of English words here, so I apologize if I am butchering them. I'm doing my best. On August 4th, 1577, at Blythburgh. Black Shuck is said to have burst in through the doors of Holy Trinity Church to a clap of thunder. He ran up the nave past a large congregation, killing a man and boy, and causing the church steeple to collapse through the roof. As the dog left, he left scorch marks on the north door, which can be seen at the church to this day.
Wow.
Your eyes got so big while I was saying that.
The imagery, you're saying it and I'm picturing this dog bursting through a door at the church. I'm going to assume that there were lots of other people there too.
The story kind of goes that there was a bad storm and the parishioners were all seeking shelter within the church. So you have a church full of people, small town, but still a church full of people. And upon a thunderclap, the dog bursts through the doors. And as he passes down the aisle, those closest to the aisle feel scorches on their skin. And he barrels in and he grabs a man by the neck and, kills him, does the same to a boy as they're kneeling, praying in the church.
Wow.
And therefore you have the start of one of the starts of the East Anglia apparition, ghost dog, black dog of I've forgotten his name. What's his name?
The
Shuck.
Shuck.
Black Shuck. Yes, Black Shuck. That is, the pretty much the origin story of Black Shuck.
Right.
And he is seen here and there. I think he was also seen at another location about 13 miles away, I think at another church, which also lends to this idea that he is a tool, a pet of the devil, because he's attacking churches and graveyards. Black dogs are also known to be seen around graveyards. So you kind of get this idea that they're either the tools of Satan or tools of witches.
I mean, who would you rather work for?
I feel like the benefits package with Satan might be better.
I'm gonna if I'm just
like there's a 401k involved.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about it. We're certainly a bigger company. The witches are kind of a startup, whereas Satan is
Right.
kind of already like got a small loan of $1 million from his dad and was able to
Exactly.
start
Like,
Google.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I can't think of a small but uprising company enough to a company with witches. But like Devil is definitely like AT&T.
Yeah.
Like been here forever.
Yeah. Witches are
Owns
like
everything.
witches are like Clubhouse. They just got
They're here, they're new, they're popular.
Everybody's trying to get in. They really
everyone's trying to get everyone's real into witches right now. That's not true, actually. I feel like every day I'm on Instagram and there's a new self-proclaimed witch or Wiccan practitioner. And not to make fun of witches or Wiccans or whatever else you want to practice or believe, but yeah, that's the level. I feel like, like you said, you might want to join the company that has some history. Their stocks are
They got
high.
history, they got a foundation. Like, you're gonna get a nice office and a nice little, pension package there.
Like what does oh shit, it just left my brain. I'm sorry. Someone sent me a text and it distracted me because I forgot to turn my phone down. What? Shit. Well, forget it. Never mind. Moving on. That joke failed
Brain
spectacularly. Total brain fart. I might need to put this other beer back in the fridge.
You might.
Cider. Oh God. I've been waking up feeling slightly hungover for the last few days already, so I am not looking forward to tomorrow morning at all. For like no reason. I've not been drinking. I have that hangover feeling when I wake up. That's called getting old, children.
No.
Womp womp. What is that? That sound from, yeah, exactly. Sad horns. So moving on, another black ghost dog is called the Barghest.
The Barghest.
Barghest.
Guest?
Well, it's pronounced that way, but it's spelled Barghest.
Barghest. Got it.
Barghest, yes. So the Barghest is one of the black dogs that is also considered to be a shapeshifter. But unlike the other black dogs, he is considered to be a shapeshifter, I should say, which is not necessarily normal for the black dog entity. He is able to transform into a headless man dressed in all black. Black rabbits, which our last story mentioned rabbits about the Bell Witch. Yeah. And fire human-like figures. So you'll see like a figure that looks humanoid and he's just engulfed in fire.
Wow.
But the Barghest is most often a large, shaggy dog with green or red eyes, seeming to be a flame amongst their pitch black fur. And despite its size, very large size, and huge claws, it can run at top speeds, while its paws never seem to make a sound or even touch the ground.
Like the last dog.
So I mean, I think a general rule with the ghost dog, the black dog, is that it could be walking and you won't necessarily hear it, and it won't leave behind any paw prints. And it seems to like appear and disappear suddenly. And also, you shouldn't really even bother to like close the door or fence off your yard or build a wall because it doesn't matter. They're going to get in. It's one way or the other.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost dog. And they also are said to have a terrifying howl that if you are unlucky enough to hear or see one, be assured that death is soon to follow. The Barghest and other such black dog ghosts are often associated and seen in conjunction with violent electrical storms, being at a literal crossroads, places of execution, and those areas which are considered ancient pathways. So now we are going to jump into, since the Barghest stories are very similar to the general Black Dog or the Black Shook stories. They kind of show up in graveyards, holy sites. If you see one, you're probably going to die or someone is going to die soon. We're going to do a few examples from the Yorkshire area and around England where the Barghest is seen in all of its many forms and meanings, except for the good ones. I skipped all the good ones because I'm not interested in that today. We'll talk about that a little later.
Just the bad dogs today.
Just the bad dog. No.
Drop it.
Got your little water sprinkle. Drop it.
What's in your mouth?
Drop. Well, I said that to my uncle's dog the other day. I was like, what's in your mouth? Drop it. He likes to eat lint out of the dryer, apparently.
Yeah. Delicious.
Delicious. Tastes like cable knit. That's what we like. So again, a few other examples for the Yorkshire area in England where the Barghest is seen. On Dartmoor, the notorious Squire Cabell was said to have been a huntsman who sold his soul to the devil. And when he died in 1677, black hounds are said to have appeared around his burial chamber. The ghostly huntsman is said to ride with black dogs. And this is also said to be the inspiration for the Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Hound of the Baskervilles, the Sherlock Holmes story, The Hounds of the Baskervilles. And I will say there was also another movie I watched during our Halloween watch party, Vampires in Brooklyn or Brooklyn versus Vampires. I forget the name of them.
Those are both very good movies.
Are those two separate movies?
Those are two separate movies. One of them is with Eddie Murphy and Angela Bassett, and the other one is a bunch of kids in Brooklyn defending their neighborhood against vampires that are gentrifying.
I watched the latter, the second one.
Okay, you should definitely watch the first one too if you haven't seen it.
I think I saw it when it originally came out, and I don't remember liking it, but maybe that wasn't my thing back then, so I'll have to rewatch it sometime.
It's an acquired
but Angela Bassett. But Angela Bassett, come on.
Yeah.
Looking probably fine as fuck.
The same as she does right now.
Right, exactly. There's no way she never looks not fine.
Yeah.
She is perpetually gorgeous. But in that movie, the alien creatures are big, black, beyond black, like blacker than black, dog-like creatures with these huge snarling teeth. So, I mean, even then you kind of see maybe a pop culture reference to black dogs being these harbingers of death and doom. That movie also killed a lot more people than I thought it would for a teenager based Halloween movie. Like that one scene, spoilers, there's one scene where someone gets their head bitten off, and I was like, holy shit.
Their whole head. Wow.
I was very shocked. It was a decent movie. It's okay. It's not the best, but it's a nice campy Halloween film. Anyway, moving on. In Tring, Hertfordshire. In Tring, Hertfordshire, a fierce-looking black hound with red eyes is said to haunt the middle of the road in the area where the gallows once stood. Locally, it is known as Lean Dog and is the spirit of a chimney sweep executed for murder. When approached, the lean dog sinks into the ground.
Have you been watching Bridgerton again?
God, again? No, I barely finished. I didn't even finish it the first time. I did not enjoy that at all.
Wow.
And then I read the synopsis for the rest of the episodes online, and I was like, nope, not doing it.
You sure you want to admit that on Clubhouse?
I do want it. I will admit that anywhere. I do not see the hype of Bridgerton. you know,
It's fine. It's okay.
my main issue is like the main character was so freaking basic. Thank you, because I was gonna say something much meaner. Basic.
You're basic.
Yeah, I noticed.
She was so basic. Like I couldn't suspend belief enough to think that that Duke would have any interest in her being who he was. Did you finally watch it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, damn. Anyway, I know we've had this discussion before, so I won't get into it again. I didn't see the point of finishing after episode like 3 or 4, which I watched with my uncles.
You just went so easily into that accent, so I just wanted to check.
Oh, did I? Usually I struggle with a British. We'll wait for my actor friends to critique it because I'm sure it was trash. Maybe Jamie can give me notes later. So that's one lean dog, another black dog. Another black dog has been said to haunt the Newgate prison for over 400 years, appearing before executions. Oh God, excuse me. I'm sorry. That was a horrible burp.
It was wet.
Oh, this is why I shouldn't drink carbonated stuff on the show. I forget every time. I forget. Hold on. Let me take a drink of water.
Okay. Water breaks.
Hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your hangover at bay. Drink of water every once in a while.
Yeah. Yes.
Pro tip. Have a bottle of water after every drink. You'll pee a lot, but you'll be less hungover the next day.
You're not going to be drunk at all either.
Okay, maybe after every 2 drinks. Like you want to balance it well.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're drinking.
Right.
Like if you're doing Jaeger bombs, then after every drink, you should probably drink at least half a cup of water.
If you're doing Jaeger bombs, you're ready to go and you're not even concerned about tomorrow.
This is true. So again, a black dog has been said to haunt the Newgate prison for over 400 years, appearing before executions. According to legend, in 1596, a scholar was sent to the prison for witchcraft, but he was killed and eaten by starving prisoners before he was given a trial. #end cash bail. The dog was said to appear soon after, and although the terrified men killed their guards and escaped, the beast is said to have haunted them wherever they fled. I saw your wheels turning there for a moment.
I was they ate the guard. Who did they eat?
Well, the terrified men killed the guards and escaped, but they ate the prisoner who was accused of being a witch.
Gotcha. And the dog went where they went. It haunted them.
Yeah. Those who escaped, the dog ended up following them. He appeared after the man was killed, and he was a scholar accused of witchcraft. And in some cases, a dog is a familiar, or a lot of usual witches are said to have familiars, animal familiars. So this is an instance in which perhaps you're seeing a witch then using their power to call forth their familiar.
Wow. I mean, yeah, #abolish prisons, because you shouldn't have to eat people. And also ghost dogs.
Also ghost. #abolish ghost dogs.
Oh, just prisons. And then we won't.
It's prisons, right. Abolish prisons.
Dogs hunting the prisons.
Yes. Read some Angela Davis, #abolish prisons. And we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
That's all you need to know. So black dogs, as I kind of mentioned earlier, they're associated with crossroads. I'm sorry, I keep burping. Oh my gosh. They're associated. Jesus Christ. They're associated with crossroads, ancient trackways, and places of execution, especially as the gallows was often placed at a crossroads. Such places are frequently haunted by a black dog. The assumed habitat of the black dog is its natural home of the road by a stream or a river, a place of passage from one place, one realm to another. And at these junctures, they are often encountered. Black dogs also haunt prehistorical burial sites and hollowed or burnt out trees. And sometimes they are actually associated with a family or particular person. Their habitat can include isolated burials and old sites of battles. And as portents of death, black dogs have been sighted in churchyards where they are called kirk or church grims. In this guise, these creatures frequent liminal places such as, quote, ancient lanes, trackways, crossroads, old churches, and prehistoric sites. I know I've said on this show before, when we have kind of mentioned, or when a black dog has been mentioned, I mentioned the grim.
Yes.
And I get that phrase from Harry Potter. There's a scene where Harry's looking at his little teacup and they're doing tea leaf readings. And Professor Trelawney is like, oh, the grim. And it's like a harbinger of death. But it turns out to be like Sirius Black, a sign that Sirius Black is coming or something. And Sirius Black is an animagus, and he turns into a dog, and his code name is Padfoot, Mooney, Prongs, and what was the other one? Prongs, Padfoot, Mooney, and the rat. What was the rat called? Squirmtail? Something with an SQ beginning. Wormtail. That's what it was, okay. I think. I know like 1,000 people are screaming at me right now because I don't remember the name. Anyway, fuck J.K. Rowling as a person. But in the story, that is Sirius Black's animagus, is a big black dog. He ends up dying. Spoilers.
Wow, Camille.
Later, right?
That's a big one though, man. Come on.
Sorry. Listen. Jeez. You didn't know by now. You didn't care. If you didn't know by now.
What if they're babies?
I mean, stay off the internet, babies. I don't know. Don't listen to podcasts. Why are babies listening to this podcast? A baby should not be listening to this podcast.
Babies are already listening to podcasts. Okay, it's a new world.
This is true. I was really excited when I learned my nephew was reading Harry Potter. I thought that maybe that would be frowned upon in his family. Oh. But I know it was frowned upon when I started reading Harry Potter. My mom was like, don't bring the devil into my house. Don't bring that witchcraft into my house. And I was like,
it's funny how the feelings changed about that the more money they made.
I wouldn't even say the more money they made. I would just say so with my mom particularly, we ended up going to see one of the movies together. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, she fell asleep through half of it. But after watching what she did of the movie, she was like, oh, okay, I understand. It's not actually what I thought it was. And I had actually explained to her, I was like, listen, they use wands and it's Latin. It's not actual demon worship or devil worship or witchcraft. It's a book, whatever. Anyway, yeah. So all that to say, the Grim is another name for black dogs. And since J.K. Rowling is from England, I'm assuming that she is very familiar with the lore of black dogs. Where were we? Yes. Where are we ever? Yeah, so we've been talking about mostly how black dogs are seen as bad symbols. They are harbingers of doom. They bring death. They bring destruction. Even in mythology, they are literal the guards of hell, or they're associated with destruction, the bringers of death. But that's not true for all cultures. But certainly in parts of Europe and Scotland, some people believe if a strange black dog follows you home, it's actually good luck for you. But if a dog follows you on a rainy day or crosses your path, it's bad luck. So kind of like a black cat crossing your path is supposed to be bad luck.
Right.
It's also thought among some that if a black dog appears in your car, an accident is portended. If a black dog is seen running cross between a dating couple, it means they're going to have a fight.
Oh.
But black dogs are also good for friendships because having one appear at your front door means you will meet with an old friend. And if the dog comes inside, an old friend is coming to your house. In India, it is thought that if you have a black pet dog, it'll protect you and your family from bad souls. And because the Indian god, this is because the Indian god of death, his vehicle, his chariot or whatever it is driven by black dogs. And so they have certain superpowers. And a belief it's actually also held in native cultures, indigenous cultures. Black dogs have a supernatural instinct that's greater than any other color of dog. And this allows them to see evil spirits, detect an evil soul, and sense upcoming death and disasters. So now you're getting two sides of a coin, right? Like you have one culture that very specifically sees black dogs as being these harbingers of death. Death is coming. They're evil. They're going to kill you, if not bring death on their heels. And you have other cultures having a reverence saying, this means change is coming. This means death may be coming, but, we can now prepare for whatever death or disaster is coming because we've now been warned by the black dog that it's happening. And that this black dog, instead of being a bringer or a tool of evil spirits, is letting us know that they're there so that maybe we can adjust or be protected. They're a protector from these evil spirits. If they can see it, that means they're warning us about it.
So the power remains the same. It's really more of a perception thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very much of a, perception. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can glass half empty, half full.
Right.
Pessimist versus optimist type of thing. Do you want to see this as a negative, or do you want to see a black dog as, helping you prepare for a future that is coming?
Yeah.
But yeah, they do still bring the same types of message. It is just all in how you see it.
Yeah. Like one hand, they think the destruction is being brought by the dog, and the other hand, the dog's just a messenger about the destruction that was coming anyway.
Yeah, it's warning you. It's telling you to be prepared,
Right.
Take heed, take warning, that this is coming. Yeah, absolutely. And kind of on a different note, in that same vein, but on a different note, black dogs have commonly been associated with depression, grief, loss, loneliness, and death. And I'm taking this from a website that kind of talks about the symbolism of black dogs within your dreams. And I'll link the website. So actually, it's a pretty interesting website. But they say on this website that just like tarot, where drawing the death card doesn't actually mean death, it means change. A change is coming. So if you're dreaming and you see a black dog, it means just like a transformation is coming, a change is coming. Even though, you may actually be suffering from depression or anxiety. You might have a grief or a loss, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just means that you're going through a deep transformation and that you may need to face those dark thoughts or feelings so that you can then grow from them. Yeah. And so the website also just kind of talks about, like, if you're dreaming about black dogs, that means you need to then kind of self-reflect, meditate perhaps, and see what it is in your life that you need to confront, whether that means changing relationships, the status of a relationship, platonic, friendship, romantic, whatever. Does it mean getting a new job, quitting your abusive job, your harmful job, or just taking responsibility for something in your life? So, what should you do should you see a black dog? Short answer is there's nothing you can do. It's just kind of.
Well, the first dog, they said to shut your eyes. Now, does that actually do anything?
I feel like that's one of those things where it makes you feel better, but
Right.
probably doesn't actually do anything to stop whatever's coming,
Right.
I feel like if you're being attacked by a real dog and you just close your eyes, they're still going to bite you. I mean, it's not that like where babies think peekaboo means you've disappeared because they have no spatial
Right.
awareness, right?
You're gone.
I'm still here, baby. You're stupid. Babies aren't stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I get no. Don't close your eyes.
Don't close your eyes.
This is why when people say they close their eyes when they're getting their blood taken, I don't understand. Just watch.
Really?
Yeah, watch it. Watch it.
What does that do though?
Because I know what's happening. It's always better to know.
Okay, I can see.
I don't want to be surprised
I guess,
by a needle.
I guess because I'm someone who like looks away while they're like actually sticking it in, and then I'll look after because I don't know, it sounds weird, but I like to see the flow of blood while it's happening. But while I hate I don't hate needles. I hate getting shots, and I don't like getting my blood taken. So I tend to always just look away instinctually, but then I have no problem like seeing blood or seeing needles.
They always tell me to look away, and I always
just dead eye stare at. You're just like,
yep, there it is. There it goes. Felt it.
I will be here from start to finish. Just wow. It's very Phil Collins of you.
So there's no real strategy. You see a black dog, it's really more about how you're going to perceive it.
Right. So this says, by the time you've seen one, it's supposedly already too late. Now, there are allegedly ways you can ward off black dogs. In Christian countries, you can just wear a cross or the pendant of a saint. So you're like Saint Christopher pendant that a lot of children are given, like when they have communion or whatever saint they're given, or just people who wear crosses as Christians. Those are said to keep the dogs at bay. Another superstition includes carrying a coffin nail, which I assume is probably very much an ancient practice, considering not many. I mean, I'm taking coffin nail to mean literal.
Yeah, because
like a nail that you would use in a coffin.
Because you were being buried in a wooden box.
Right.
And they nailed it shut.
I don't know if a coffin nail is a specific type of construction.
It's probably a very thick nail that they use to make sure that it was shut all the way.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing there's still things that are referred to as coffin nails, but you can get one. Hopefully, if you don't want to wear a cross, maybe put that on a string and wear it around your neck. You can also sprinkle fresh water on the ground behind you as you walk, which seems excessive. Like, are you just supposed to sprinkle it everywhere you go?
Just sort of have a water bottle with a hole in it, and it's just
get your Camelback, and just open the flow on the hose on your Camelback, and just. Or having a pair of scissors, preferably iron, on you just on you. Are you supposed to stab the dog?
Just have the scissors.
Just have them. I mean, I assume like if you're talking about nails, coffin nails, and iron scissors, you're really just talking about iron, the metal.
Okay.
Having the metal iron on or near you. Because I assume you can't stab a black dog. Like if it's getting that close to you, it's probably too late.
Right.
But in general, you can also just avoid the places where they tend to like to be, which is crossroads, moving bodies of water like a river or stream, and stay away from the woods, long stretches of road or fields. Yeah. So in my research, again, I will provide links to all of the sources. A lot of it is Wikipedia. And again, the Wikipedia page for just general Black ghost has a lot of stories, a lot of different stories of black dogs from all over, again, that kind of England, European area. There were a couple of American stories. The one I found, it was the story of like a benevolent black dog. He like helped someone who was like a hiker or a camper or something. And there are a few of those stories as well. Like I said, I think it's in how you see the dog.
Sure.
In a couple of those stories, the dogs were clearly protecting the travelers and or children in the area. And then I stumbled upon, and I'll provide the link. I stumbled upon someone's thesis paper. They wrote their thesis. I guess they were getting their master's in folklore, which kind of cool, kind of useless.
Their parents are pissed.
Right. We're paying for what now? So instead of like a doctor, you're going to tell stories. Great. I love it.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have a theater degree. I can't judge. Okay. I really can't judge. But this person wrote their thesis on the black dog. And it's actually, I didn't read through all of it. It was like 53 pages and I only had like an hour left on my research that I did this morning. But I will provide the link because it seemed really interesting. I skimmed through it and it just really goes into detail about all the different types of black dog folklore and symbolism behind it. And then also there is another website about the meaning of your dreams about black dogs, if that's something that you experience, and what it has a whole list of what different, it's like a dream encyclopedia, basically, version for black dogs. So if a black dog is eating, if a black dog is friendly, if it's mean, if it's following you, and it gives you what all of those potential meanings are for seeing a black dog in your dreams. And again, like we mentioned, it has a lot to do with possibly just perception. Okay. And a black dog doesn't have to be malevolent. Malevolent.
Phenomena.
I need so glad you did it because I was about to. Yeah. And so that's it. The end. Black dogs. The end.
Dogs. I mean, yeah, perception of, the symbol of, again, just like you said, the color black, the dog, because I guess none of these dogs are actually attacking them. It's really more what's coming to be after you see the dog.
Well, there is the one dog that did attack the church. Okay. And the thing is, like, that church attack is documented. Like, that is actual history. Okay. That is documented. The black dog is the kind of iffy part, but there was a church that was attacked and I think someone did die. 1 or 2 people did die. Whether or not it was actually a black dog or not is where you kind of get the myth and folklore portion.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, I think even in, pop culture, I don't remember if Cujo was black or not.
No, he was a big, what kind of dog was he? He was like a Saint Bernard. So he was like that tan and
so he was like
sable and white.
Beethoven.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Cujo was a Saint Bernard. Huh. But he wasn't black, at least not in the movie. I don't know about the book. Okay. In the movie, he was not black.
Okay. because I gotta say it again. Black dogs, they're getting a bad rap sometimes.
Yeah,
You know,
just like black cats,
and black
But
cats.
I think that just goes back to what we mentioned. It's just a lot of propaganda to some degree.
It makes you
about
wonder why so much of it was surrounding this particular type of dog, or just, I guess it doesn't even matter what dog it was, like what kind of dog it was, as long as it was black.
Yeah, and there's a couple of stories where the dog is maybe white, but those aren't as prevalent as the black dog. And it's hard to say. Again, the origin of this, I don't know if there are stories to Odin's dog being black or Cerberus being black, or not Odin's dog, Hel's dog being black, or Cerberus being black. I think they're often depicted as black dogs.
I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, in Hercules, Hades, those dogs he had were black.
Yeah, which, I mean, I think if you, again, it's all very archetypal. The color black is definitely associated with darkness, evil, malevolent, even though black is the presence of all colors. Mm-hmm. That's some color theory for you, right? Mm-hmm. black is the presence of all colors. White is the absence of all colors.
Yeah, I feel like with dogs, it's similar in that. Now, I've never had that whole, oh no, it's a black cat or problem. And I'm just recently learning that there was anything wrong with a black dog as recently as right now, today.
An hour ago, yes.
Yeah. But I never had that like perception of seeing a black cat and being like weirded out or spooked or anything. And to me, it's just like, that's just another little dirty street cat.
Just a little floof. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not, even for an actor, I know actors tend to be highly superstitious. I have never had any qualms with anything standard, like the broken mirror, the walking under a ladder, the opening an umbrella inside, black cats, stepping on a crack. I was just always like, whatever. So, I mean, not to
do you
judge people.
Do you subscribe to any superstitions?
No, I mean, I guess I'm going to say no, just based on the superstitions I know. Mm. Now, I do like to carry, like I have this pendant I made. It's actually like a short version of a rosary. So it has all the number of beads needed to do a full rosary, but it's only a single strand. So like you have to keep repeating instead of going around the whole rosary. So I made one of those made with carnelian stone, which is a stone that is meant to promote creativity and confidence and artistic. And so it's a great stone for actors. And I really love working with it and giving it as gifts, as show gifts to the people I do theatrical shows with. So I have that, and I have started carrying that with me when I go to auditions. So I'll keep it in my pocket. I'll like rub it. I have one that I carry with me in my pocket, and then I have another strand that I have in my car. So that's about maybe the only real superstition maybe I have. And it's even like, it's not even a superstition. Like if I don't have it, I'm not freaking out. I don't think the world's ending. It's just kind of like a comfort measure, a meditation tool. So I don't think I know there's that whole thing of like kissing your roof of your car as you pass through a cemetery or under a yellow light. You're like supposed to kiss your hand and like touch the roof of your car as you go under a yellow light. Holding your breath as you're driving past a cemetery is another one I've heard of. You've never heard of any of these? Great. Those are ones I've heard of. I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's cultural, because those are the ones I learned from my Mexican friend. So maybe it's a cultural thing.
I subscribe to one superstition. It's very stupid. And but my grandmother told me, and I can't shake it. I don't know why. I know it's ridiculous. And even the action of it is just insane. But she said if someone is sweeping and they sweep your feet, you need to spit on the broom or you're going to go to jail.
Oh. Okay.
And when it does happen to me, I do freak out.
Do you spit on brooms?
I like spit a little bit on it.
Oh,
like on the
okay.
bristles.
I will say, if I do spill salt, I do just pick up a little bit and throw it over my shoulder. I wouldn't say that that's like something that will make or break me. But that's maybe the only. And the one time I did do it in front of my mom, she like kind of freaked out on me because she figured it was like witchy shit. Yeah, but I've heard about someone sweeping over your feet. I don't think I've heard about it being associated with going to jail. That's highly specific.
That's the part that I feel like is questionable. Maybe
right.
Maybe there is something about sweeping your feet, and she just attached that part about jail.
Right.
But
right.
It's first of all, it's just a very odd feeling. It actually makes me feel like something bad will happen because that happened to me. So
it's a little icky. Like it's an icky feeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't feel right in my body until I spit on the broom.
Okay.
So now you know my truth.
Now I know your truth. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. I feel like it needs black dogs need a rebranding, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there are used as guard dogs is usually what I saw, people talking about because they're perceived as scarier.
Yeah. Even then it's sort of like it's
like a backhanded compliment.
Innate violence in you and aggressive protectiveness. And, I told you my theory on, that versus golden retrievers. Golden retrievers get to be Airbud, and Airbud can do no wrong. Airbud can shoot a 3. So
100% accuracy all the time.
You see the branding, the marketing, the image that's being built. I never see movies about black dogs in all the dog movies that I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, I think technically like Sirius Black in Harry Potter ends up being a positive.
Yeah.
But then dude falls through a magic door and dies. So
you keep spoiling it.
Sorry.
Like now they're going to have to fast forward again.
I'm going to put an extra disclaimer at the top of this episode about Harry Potter spoilers, right? But anyway, yeah, that's the black dogs. Dear Sydney, any additional final thoughts?
I'll say that I think black dogs are actually really pretty, majestic looking dogs. Like a black coat of hair on a dog is really like striking when you see it.
It's majestic as fuck.
Yeah, it looks great. Like they're beautiful dogs. So I'm for black dogs, I feel like I like the perception of it's if we're going to look at it this way, it's the messenger. So let's just, get ready for whatever is about to transform rather than it's bringing on the evil, it's bringing the destruction.
Yeah, for sure.
What are your thoughts?
No, the same. I mean, I had a black dog for a very long time. I don't have a problem with I don't think I ever think about the color of the dog I'm getting per se, unless you're getting a specific breed in which colors might play into. Like, I know when I got my corgi, I used to have a corgi. I wanted the sable and white one. It's like the tan colored and white one, which was like a certain type of corgi versus like the Pembroke versus the Welsh. But anyway, unless you're looking at things like that, which is hyper specific, it doesn't matter to me what color the dog is, as long as it's a cool ass dog. I would like a black cat. I think they're just cool looking. So, but definitely as someone who also dabbles in tarot, like they mentioned, like the symbols aren't always literal. The death card doesn't mean literal death all the time, or if ever, it means a change. So really being able to see the signs. If you happen to see a black dog during a heightened state, during something going wrong, maybe the dog just forgot to set its watch. Maybe it's a little late. It's running behind, Black people time.
Black dog time.
We're not all Black dog time. We're not always on time. That's just the thing, but we show up and it's a party when we do. So yeah, I think, to your point and the point that other site made, it really could just be seen as that early warning system, or, just a sign that a change is coming, or you need to make a change to better your life. So there's really no reason to be specifically afraid of a black dog or a black creature or a black animal, I should say, of any kind.
Or a black person.
Or a black person. Don't be afraid of black people.
I will say, when I hear a howl,
happy Black History Month.
It's Happy Black History Month again.
Don't be afraid of black people. That's our goal. That's our motto for Black History Month.
Don't let black scare you.
Don't let black scare you. Embrace the black.
Embrace the black.
Hashtag embrace the black. Yes. What were you saying about the howl?
That part kind of scared me, because now, what if I hear a random dog howl and I can't find the dog?
He's just warning you, though.
I know I said, it was all good, but I feel like when I get in that situation, I'm going to panic.
Because, if you think about wolves howling, they howl to signal each other, their direction, their position, where they are, what they're looking for, what they're hunting. So just know that this is also a warning for you.
Well, you're telling me it's too late. Once I hear it, it's too late. They're already on my neck.
Whatever change is coming is going to come. You just have to be prepared to face it. The real challenge is in how you react to the change. And I say this as someone who hates sudden change. So it's all about your perception and your attitude while facing changes. So see the black dog as a positive. It's just trying to, help you out in one way or another. Maybe it just doesn't know. Maybe it just doesn't pick up on cues very well. It doesn't know that it's not supposed to be scary.
Or it's just singing to the moon.
Or he's just he's minding his own fucking business. It's not his fault bad things seem to come when he does.
Singing to the moon.
He's just there.
Did you see that dog that sounded like he was singing the Star Wars theme?
No.
It was on We Rate Dogs. It really sounded like he was singing the Star Wars theme.
Oh, well, we're going to wrap up this episode. Sydney, where would you like the people to find you?
The people can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and also Clubhouse.
What?
At Syd in Play. SYD_N_play. PLAY.
Very good.
That's what.
Very good. And you can find me, dear listener, at the Camille Monae on all social media. You can find the podcast at Boosed Pod, that is BOOSEDPOD, on all social media, and at patreon.com/boostpod. If you would like to support the show financially, give us a couple of dollars a month. That would be nice. You know what would also be nice? Leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, a written review. Tell us anything. Tell us about your black dog dreams, your non-black dog dreams. Tell us about your soul train dreams.
Tweet us pictures of your dog.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. You can tweet us. We're on TikTok. I think it's Boosed Podcast on TikTok. Maybe that's wrong. I don't remember. We're on TikTok as well. You can share our videos from there. Make a funny something. Do what the kids do. Whatever. Give us a follow. Give us some likes. Give us some shares. Share us with your friends. Share us with your enemies. We don't care if you don't like them. Make them listen to us for an hour and a half, 2 hours. torture your friends. That's what I'm saying. Torture your friends and enemies with our show.
Both of them.
So, that's all I want. It's all I ask. Anyway, that's all for this week, dear listener. Thank you for listening. As always, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Wear a goddamn mask.
Please.
2 of them.
Where's 2?
Apparently.
Where 2?
If you can get a vaccine, go ahead and do that shit.
Go get it. My parents got theirs. I'm so happy about it.
Yay. Go get microchipped by the government. Everyone's doing it.
You already have a microchip. It's your phone.
This is true. It's your phone. It's your computer. It's your car.
It's your social security number.
It's probably in your shoes.
That's why they make you take them off at the airport.
Definitely in your bank account. It's on your debit cards. There's chips on all of our debit cards now.
The FBI agents are staring at us right now, staring at each other.
Done. They're in Zoom.
Yeah.
They are in the Zoom.
Hope you guys like the episode.
Glad I did my hair. Yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time here on Boosed Pod. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Boosed. Our theme was composed by Vincent Parish. Sound production is done by Sydney Johnson. You can find us on social media at Boosed Pod. That's BOOSED Pod. If you would like to support the show, please go to patreon.com/boostpod to make a contribution. Thank you for listening. And don't forget, get boosed.